Hey guys, Lancy here. Hope everyone's doing well. So today is going to be a big session because we actually have a lot of spoilers to cover as well. So let's get right into it. Now, I wanted to start off because a lot of people are still interested in what's happening with the markets outside of the Magic the Gathering markets. And I used to do this in the past, but obviously it makes sense to now just kind of group them all together because, yeah, they are quite connected. It makes sense when the market goes up, stocks and everything else, now that everything seems to be trading similar to stocks, that Magic the Gathering cards go up as well, especially some of the ones that are harder to get your hands on. So starting off, I'm going to explain how I've got my setup so that if it makes sense to anyone else. The 200 day is the 200 average price for the market. So the way that it works is you look at the 200 day, which is the white line, and that just looks back in history of what the average price is. So it just falls quite a bit slower. Even though the market's dropping, it falls slower because obviously the price is going to be over the last 200 days. So it takes that into account each time. Then you got the 50 day, which is a bit faster. Then you got the 9, which is the blue one. The blue one is the 20, and then you got the 9, which is the orange one right here. The way that most people normally trade is when it breaks above the 9, which is the orange one right here, then it's a good time to, I guess, dip your toes in to make a buy, and then you kind of ride the wave. It's like a momentum trade. You're trading the fact that it's just hit a momentum, and you're just going along with the flow, and then when it starts pulling back against you, you kind of drop out. And this is the smooth Heikinashi's candles, which is a method of smoothing out these candlesticks, which are top to down what the price movement for the day is. And what it is it's a clearer way to show when it's safe to kind of dip your toes in. When it hits a green, it's usually a good time to buy, but obviously you can try to go for two different things, which is it hits a green on it's above the 9 and it's above the Heikin-Ashi. So a good time to buy, then you kind of just let it bounce and then you sell when it drops below. So you would have sold around here. You make a buy and then that's it. So right now you can see that the dollar is weak. The US dollar is weak. It's dropped below its 50. It's dropped below its 9. So the chances are it's going to drop to a certain point. Then comes the next part, which is support and resistance. Now, support is usually previous times where I had trouble breaking out. So you can see right here, the dollar had some issues getting above 92. It had trouble getting above 92 back here. It then got stuck under 91 and 92 for a while as well. So there's a pretty high chance if the dollar breaks down, it'll probably come back, touch the 92 area and then continue going up, or touch the 92 area, try to go back up to 93, fail, and then drop back down all the way back to the gutters. Depends on what the Federal Reserve does. A lot of people go that charts is all that you care about. Yes, charts are future predicting, but fundamentals still matter, which means that the policies that governments and people make, companies make, kind of still matter. So you can't really have one or the other. The way that I do this, it helps a bit. So I haven't done trading for a long time. I kind of did some in 2018, but it just makes you lose a lot of sleep and you don't really get much out of it unless you're really disconnected, I guess. But for me, I couldn't really do that. I was still working. So I wouldn't say I would rather work, but since I don't mind my job, I'd probably rather stick with that. Then moving into something like this where you kind of feel like you can't really sleep. And if you start trading crypto, you don't even get your weekends. So let me know if you guys need any more explanation. I am planning to do probably split these off into two videos. One of them is maybe going back to key stocks that people like to talk about, people like to look at. So gold, silver, Bitcoin, Tesla, all the ones that people like to hear about. And what I might do is I'll start the day with that for this video, where I'll talk about the fact that the dollar looks weak. Tesla looks strong, but it's kind of like having this hovering pattern where it's waiting for something. So I'd probably say Tesla looks strong, but I'd be careful with it. It is above its green. It's above its 9. It's above the 200. It's got some support, but things are very, very close here. The dollar is, oh, sorry, not the dollar, the gold is below 200, looks a bit weak. It's got a huge 2-year resistance that's been coming up for a while. So this resistance has survived 2 years. So we'll have to see if in the next one, I mean, it could break down or up like tomorrow. The Jackson Hole meeting between the Federal Reserve banks in the US is a key decisive part of what's going to happen. There's also the non-pay payrolls, or whatever you want to call them, on September, and the jobs data that comes from the US. And a lot of people are betting on the fact that if it looks bad, it's good for the stocks because the interest rates will be kept lower. No one else has anywhere else to put their money. House prices will continue going up and inflation will continue. But it only matters for asset prices, really, because everything else can be produced in mass. If the Federal Reserve Bank thinks that everything is going well, then they are going to taper, which means that asset prices will come down, interest rates would go up, and so the dollar will go up. So it's hard to explain it all, but pretty much the Federal Reserve has a lot of power in these markets. So gold is dependent on the dollar. The stronger the dollar, the weaker the gold will be. So right now, everyone is expecting the Federal Reserve to do something tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to happen. So there's a pretty high chance that gold will stabilize here, break out about 1800, and then kind of like trend back up to 2000, most likely. If the Federal Reserve says anything, like they're going to taper and they're going to raise interest rates next year because the inflation is too high, oh, you better believe that gold's going to jump off a cliff. Peter Schiff is going to feel really bad about that one. Bitcoin, so 4,700, well, 47,000. 3.81% drop today, but it is still showing strength. It's above its 200. It's above the 9 still. It's above my green candle. There is still a chance for this thing to run. Really, there is chance for Bitcoin to run. The VIX has got a bit of a pump today, but the VIX is way more volatile and almost impossible to predict by any of my checks right here, so no point sticking around, but it does look like it's got some strength going for it. GME, I'm amazed to say, but it's still got strength. It's still got strength. There's a chance for it to continue moving up. It's above its 200. 10-year yield. This is interesting. This actually, if this breaks, like, I mean, that's a death cross right there. So it should be dumping. Like, it should be dumping. But if this goes up, that means that people are expecting inflation to happen and expecting interest rates to rise up. So if this goes above the white line, the 200, and kind of stays there, and then you get green marks, like all the way up here, and goes up to 1.5, the markets might actually get scared by that. It might be good for crypto, but markets will get scared by that. I live in Australia, so it looks like the Australian dollar is getting stronger against the US, but the US had a pretty good run in the last couple of days, so no surprise there. Oil has had an actually amazing run, but it is below its 50. There's a chance that it can bounce off that and drop, but you can see that it is above my green, so I wouldn't bet against it. Now might still be a good time to buy oil. People are expecting oil to go to $100. That doesn't sound good for the economy. Australian stock, it looks like it's gaining some strength, but I don't like this. This is another way you can judge if a stock price is going up or not. When the price action of this white line, which is meant to be it's kind of like tells you what the momentum is. The thing is, when you get a big peak like this, that means that you got some big strength. But when you get another peak like this, and then it kind of falls off, or you get a peak here, which goes like this, but it's not above the previous peak, and on here it goes way above the previous peak, then that's pretty much showing that there's something wrong with that, like stability of the price at that point. It's hard to explain. Silver below the 200, below the 100, but it is on its way up. There's a pretty high chance that it can go up to 24, maybe even 25, 26 before it hits the 200. So it can gain about 8% before things get really rocky for it. But I'd probably say it's got like maybe 4 to 5% gain on it in the next couple of days. Nasdaq, still plenty of strength. Copper's looking kind of risky actually, and copper does lead the way, so it's the reason why it's called Dr. Copper, because it sometimes can predict the future. Then you got Shibu coin, which is dumping a bit, Dogecoin, which is dumping a bit, and you got ARK, which is below the 200. I will not trade this until it goes above the 200, and hopefully can bounce off the 200, then I can be a bit more confident. Anyways, guys, that's a fast way to just look over this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably split that into 2 videos. If you enjoy either one of them, then let me know, and I will start doing that from tomorrow, I guess. So, moving straight into Magic. I'll start talking with the dual lens, because then people can just run away if they want. Spoilers are at the end, so if you guys want to stick around, that's also fine. So, Tropical Island had a bit of a peak, as did a lot of these reserve list cards. Peaked at around a market price of $900, now sitting at $800 last seen. Badlands kind of had a bit of a peak, but nothing as crazy. It went above the average a bit. Now it's just flatlining, dropping slowly. Bayou is going to the sky. I don't know if I didn't, sadly. I don't think I picked up a good quality Bayou, but like Bayou is just going straight for the skies. We'll have to see where that stops. Layla, the Blade Reforged, picking up again. This card, I think it's good. You can get it from Commander 21 for $3.92, but I'm pretty sure Commander Dex is still in stock if you just want to buy it straight from that. And if you don't have the Commander deck, you can just get that instead. Dimir Signet is back on the list, another gain for the day. Dimir Signet is the most expensive of all of these signets. Its average price is $3, which means, yeah, this is easily a reasonable price. Of even $13 is perfectly reasonable for a secret lair. Yeah, $3 plus for a signet is actually crazy. Red Mana Battery, again on the list. So, you got to remember, there's a 4th edition copy of this for 48 cents, but this is from Legends, so there's a reason why people want to get this Black Border one. You'll have to know if it's $6 is actually worth it for you. In my head, it's not the best card. What else? From Starter 1999. I don't think I have this one, but I have one with this art, which means it's probably... So I'm just looking through and seeing which one has Exodus. Portal, maybe? I might have the Portal copy. Yeah, I don't know which one I have. I'm pretty sure it's the Portal one. So yeah, it's sitting at $6. It's actually a really good card. I have this one, and I also have the Exodus version in foil, I think. Yes, it must be that in foil. So, oh no, sorry, I got the WPN Gateway promo. It's a really cool card, really good in green decks, very easy to use and abuse. You can blink it all day long and you can get a lot of value out of it. I think $6 for this is good because I don't know if they're going to ever print this art again. It's really good art, but we're going to have to see what Wizards of the Coast actually focuses on for their secret lairs and also their reprinting from the list. Mother Rune from Secret Lairs. So yes, of course, all of these are going to go up to a reasonable price of $8 to $9 because that's just how much they're worth. So it makes no sense for them to really be cheaper than that unless they bring down the value of the other side as well. Jeskai Infiltrator. So this guy, I don't actually know what it's looking at. I can't really see too much of an aggressive move. It's been like this for most of its history. I would probably say a 34 cents card that's moved up by a bit is not too much of an issue. This is from the promo, so yeah, there's a bit more value to it, I guess, but it's up to you guys to decide on that. Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger from the Secret Lairs. All of these cards from the Secret Lairs are actually insane for the Phyrexian stuff. Great value. I don't think they're going to come down. They're great in Commander. People are going to want to build decks around them because of the, the actual cool text. So the fact that it's sitting at $21, I think that's the case. You could have got this for $39, and it had 5 Phyrexians, and that's the foil one. So yeah, it's crazy value. City of Brass, Arabian Nights. Great card, but that looks like a buyout. And it looks like it's been in a buyout situation for a long time. Market price of $485, market price of $2,000. Nope. No thanks. You can get these for $21. It has been in a lot of different sets. Not on the reserve list. Wrath of God from Secret Lair. Now, I mentioned this before. Wrath of God itself is actually quite an expensive card. The way that I think about it, the Secret Lairs is usually worth about 2 to 3 times. So if a Wrath of God is worth $8-ish, then this should be around about the $20 to $24 range, which means there's still a way for it to go. Sunastain Falconer from Legends. Now, I haven't seen this card before. He is not on the reserve list, never been reprinted before. He is gaining fast. Also creepy looking art. It's kind of a cool card, actually. In those colors, yeah, that's kind of a cool card. But he used to be $3.70. Same thing happened before. Now he's $10.54. Not much more to say. Verdant Tempest. So I have this card as well. Maybe I have the white border one. But it's been printed many times. You can get them for like 50 cents. So this one is getting most of its value because it's from Tempest, I think. Torpor Orb from New Phyrexia. So very accurate following for this graph. You can see that it's almost peaked and also got the market price following it at the same time. Easy 20% gain for the day. Actually, this one I think is like a 14% gain. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cost ability to trigger. A very annoying card. I'm not a fan of it. Never been reprinted before. So yeah, there is actually some value to this one. Wirewood Herald from Dual Decks Anthology. I think this was on the list a couple of days ago. It's a cool elf card. It's sitting around about $2. You can get one Onslaught one for 31 cents. I don't think that's true anymore. Like I said, sometimes these prices are a bit slow. I'd be surprised if it's above or below $1. And last from MTG stock is Reckless One from Dual Decks Anthology as well. A bit volatile. Looks like someone's manipulating the prices, but $1.19 just feels okay for a card like this. You just don't need, really, to have a card like this for a Goblins deck. That's not what Goblins are about. He doesn't really help put more Goblins on the field. He's just one. So, moving to MTG Goldfish. The Great Henge gaining by 1%. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Soul Shadow moving by 12%. It's just set at $1.48. A drop of 9% for Righteous Valkyrie. Now it's sitting at $4.72. That's it. This is going to be fast. Nothing. You got an 8% gain for Lackless Dragon Queen, which I'm pretty sure everyone has one copy of at least. So nothing crazy here, sitting at $4. The biggest drop, nothing that even hit the 5% mark. Oh my god. And for modern, Steam Vents 11% gain, Wheel of Sun and Moon a 12% gain, and Graven Cans at 18% gain. Pithing Needle a 12% gain, so that's actually not too bad. A few things moving, so that Steam Vents sitting at $40. Wheel of Sun and Moon sitting at $34.23. That's fine. Graven Cans sitting at $16. Okay, that's fine. What happened to Steam Vents? Let me just have a quick look and see if this is new. $13.48 for Pithing Needles. Okay, needles. Okay, that's fine. What is going on with Steam Vents? Oh my god. Okay, so Steam Vents went from $18 to $39. How come it was not on the list? Strange. I don't think it popped up as much. I don't remember talking about Steam Vents much. Coat of Arms a drop of 11%, and Renan 6 a drop of 8%, and Acid at $120. That's still quite expensive. All right, let's move on to the spoilers. Nothing new from Innistrad. I did go over what's coming out from for 2022 to 2023. So we are getting some challenger decks. There are some cool things coming out and also some really awkward things in bad art. But we'll see what that happens at that time. Secret Lairs. Now, this is what I want to talk about to end this day. So this one, worth it. Kamigawa Secret Lairs, I think, is going to be worth it. You probably want to get the foil one if they fixed the Pringles issue, because Toshiro Umazawa himself is probably worth this. Michiko Konda Truthseeker is also worth the pack itself. Like, if you get this for $39 or $39.99 or whatever it is for the foil version, these two cards, between the two of them, are probably worth $40. The rest of them are just icing on the cake. They obviously will all come down, but they'll probably still sit around that $40 mark, which I think is pretty decent. Oh, you got the values here. That's in pounds and dollars. Okay, yeah. So, Teferi's Time Trouble. This is only a non-foil, but the art is unique. It looks cool. Some of these cards are quite expensive, like Dak Faden. I don't know if he's that expensive, but I think Teferi is still. Joe, Artist Series, Comic Guide, Sphere of Safety, Carpet of Flowers, Sanctum Prelata. Art is amazing. I will admit, it looks like it tells a good story, but kind of cringy, but unique. I don't know. It looks fine. If you get the entire pack bunch, I guess it's probably something in there. Artist Series, Thomas Baxis. Okay, so this is one I want to talk about. Spell card is fine. Siren Insanity is fine. Sliver Hive Lord, I think, is worth it by itself. You guys can let me know if that's right or not. Masters for blockers. Now, this is the weakest one I've seen. Brazen Borrower was just added in. I feel like that's a good card. That's probably worth this pack in some ways, because it's still a $23 card, I think. But, it really does depend on what you want out of it. Now, I don't want to really go into the Commander Secret Last Perfection. That just looks weird. Commander Collection Black has some cool stuff in it. So, Ghost Caller Gisa, Ophiomancer. Actually, isn't that a really expensive one? Yeah, the Ophiomancer, I think, actually is worth it. Phyrexian Arena, amazing, worth it card. Reanimate, yes. Toxic Deluge, yes. Soaring, that's surprising. Liliana, that's kind of surprising. Kamanta, okay, that's kind of weird as well. But, yeah, where is the back for Liliana? How do I flip this? Okay, sure. Yes, there's some value in here, but how much is this normally? I forgot the pricing for Commander Collection Green was, but it looks like there's some value here, but I have most of these cards, which means that I'm pretty much just going to go in for duplicates. How much are people going to buy this and then resell them? That's kind of one of my worries. We'll have a look at the Pioneer Challenger cards. What's the value in them? So there's a Brazen Borrower in the Zoria Spirits. Spell Queller, Rattle Chains. Huh. Okay, yeah, no, it's nothing crazy. That seems pretty good. I kind of wish I had the pictures, because I can't really recognize them just by the words. So I feel like Lotus Field combo. Red. Mono Red Burn. Straightforward. Actually looks really good. I like that Mono Red Burn. I wonder what... Chandra Torch of Defiance. Really? Okay. It looks pretty good to me. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I can't really off the top of my head say if this is great or not. But it looks like some of these feel pretty good to me. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll check with you later. See you guys.